All right, if you're still with us or you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Friday right here on Enterprise Television. Now we're moving to our main conversation for today. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Thursday dismissed the order of a Rivers High Court, which reinstated Martin Emiwule and 24 others from parading themselves as lawmakers of the State Assembly.
And that's true. In the appeal, the pro-Wike lawmakers urged the appellate court to stay the execution of the High Court's judgment and further prayed to the appellate court to invalidate all the legislative actions that have been taken by the Jumbo-led Rivers State House of Assembly.
While the lawmakers who won their elections on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) announced their defection to the APC, and subsequently the Rivers Assembly, led by the then Speaker Honorable Edison Ehie, on December 13 declared their seats vacant owing to their defection.
Very true. A three-member panel of the appellate court, led by Justice Jimmy Olukayode-Bada, held that the court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the suit, as such matters can only be heard and determined by a federal high court, and it therefore invalidated all the restraining orders that were issued against them by the High Court. And
still in the studios with us to do justice to this very trendy news bulletin, and it's Barrister Fansofeli and Cyril Abaku. Thank you, gentlemen, for hanging on. And let's get into the crux of the matter here. Barrister Fansofeli, when the appeal court says the High Court has no functus officio on this particular matter, we need some clarity on that, please.
Has no jurisdiction.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. The issue under reference is not one that can be determined by the State High Court. But unfortunately, the parties who went to court, okay, the Jumbo faction that went to court, went to the State High Court. Okay. But if you look at the Constitution very well, from Section 251 down to Section 252, 3, 4, 5, you will see where the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court is identified in the Constitution, and it's clear when it has to do with the determination of whether the office of a member of members of National Assembly House of Assembly have been declared vacant. That is a portion of the Constitution that says so, and they gave the Federal High Court jurisdiction to that effect. Okay, but you know, last night, when this story came out, so many media houses wrote it in a way that looked like the Court of Appeal abrogated, or the Court of Appeal determined the legality or otherwise, or the declaration of the seats of these people vacant. Okay, the stories were reported like that, but what was determined by the Court of Appeal was jurisdiction. Okay, and jurisdiction will mean that the decision the court of first instance took, they have no powers to take it. And what decision did they take? You know, at that level, they should stop parading themselves as lawmakers, okay, and made other ancillary orders. Okay, now the Court of Appeal only said, you know what, the High Court don't have jurisdiction to make those orders it made. Okay, but the Court of Appeal did not determine whether or not their seats have been declared vacant or otherwise. But the media wrote it that way. The media now said, you know what the media said? They said, now the Amaole faction can now go back to the assembly and continue lawmaking. That's what the media said. I corrected them online yesterday. That is not the decision. The decision of the Court of Appeal is that the Court of President have no jurisdiction. So now, the members, the Jumbo faction, what they need to do now is to go to the Federal High Court, okay, to file a proper process to determine what they wanted the Court of First Instance to determine. So when they come under proper jurisdiction, the outcome of that will now determine the next level.
Okay, thank you. Now, the ex parte order issued by the High Court was made without proper jurisdiction. Now, what do you make of the Court of Appeal judgment stating that the High Court lacked jurisdiction to make such pronouncement? Now, in the eyes of the law, over to you, Cyril. In the eyes of the law, who are we going to say is the speaker?
Well, the matter had been contentious even before the matter was filed in court, which appeared to be that the matter wasn't filed. I mean, if you understand the logic, because if the Court of Appeal has said now that the lower court that gave the first judgment lacked jurisdiction, which means whatever that court said was a nullity. But before that nullity came, status quo was, or could be taken to mean, I would take it to mean, that Amewule and his allies and his friends had defected from the PDP to the APC, which is a fact. I have held it, it has been my considered view that upon their defection, they lost their seats in the State House of Assembly. I've always held it.
You know, there was a court judgment on that said that they never defected.
So they couldn't have defected and then gone to court to say, we didn't defect, let the court now. This judicial abracadabra that they try to throw in our face, you see, because in the end, the person with political power will not be able to decide what the state of affairs is. Because here we could have gone to seek interpretation. All kinds of interpretations are being meted up to us, and we can't take an appropriation and the reprobation together and put it in one pot and say they are both the same. They are not both the same. They couldn't have defected, and they sought a legal ruling saying that they didn't defect, so that they can go back to the PDP or go back to the House or go back to where. In my opinion, in my view, those people, it's just that our institutions in this country are not independent. They lack a mind of their own. Otherwise, INEC should have long declared those seats vacant and
Conduct
fresh elections.
So why do you think they didn't? Why do you think
they went to court to restrain INEC?
The same people that defected.
They went to court. Even there's a ruling from another court that said that defection cannot be just oral. That you must show that their names are now delisted from the PDP register and it's now in the APC register with their voters registration, membership card and all that. That the claimant must tender that in evidence.
Is that what the law says?
It's a very wrong judgment.
Yeah.
What the law says is, the law didn't say you. He is saying that to ground your claim, you need to go and produce that. But these are guys who came on national TV with a flag and then defected. You understand? But what the claimant didn't do in that case was to tender those video evidence, electronic evidence. Okay. But that notwithstanding, the truth is that they were on national TV. And if you look at section 97 of the 79 of the Evidence Act, it says that the court ought to take judicial notice, okay, of issues like you see, there are issues that are not muted in court, okay, but the court is expected to act in a particular way by judicial notice, okay. So a lot of people praise the judgment, and I said this judgment is landlocked. It's landlocked because these people defected. And why were we all shouting all the while? What was the whole hula about in Rivers State? Was it not the day they defected that the problem started? And we got to this point, okay? So the truth is that they will need to go and file that case in the proper court, because any judgment delivered, however elegant and brilliant, if it lacks jurisdiction, no matter how perfectly written that judgment is, it cannot stand the test of time, because jurisdiction is a hallmark of litigation. That's the lifeblood. When you don't have jurisdiction, you don't have jurisdiction.
Now, you were still on a particular position.
I think my point was that because as at the time, they had defected clearly. So in my opinion, if we were to go back to status quo, that is where the matter was before the appeal to the Court of Appeal, came. was the fact that they were actually no longer members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, which means again that in my view, Victor Okojumbo and whoever is left with him, call it the rump of the house, remains the full house of the State House. Now you're asking why INEC didn't conduct fresh elections, and he was saying that there was a court ruling to that. But the law did not also state the time frame INEC needed to conduct elections upon defection.
Oh, okay.
That was entirely up to INEC's discretion. So INEC appeared to have been waiting.
No, the constitution said that the Speaker of the House, you understand, shall give vent to that. It's the Speaker that ought to
Pronounce.
yes, make that pronouncement and then call on INEC
Yes.
to conduct. And now the Speaker is part of those who defected
No, but so
at the time. So when this fashion came up, they now, these ones that defected now went to court to restrain them from, going ahead to.
instead of giving vent and notifying INEC. So you see, the Rivers State political economy is like some kind of crab situation where the crab's body is moving to the right, but his feet is moving to the left. All the parties seem not to know what to do, where to turn. They're writing to do in court. How do you go to court to say they defected without evidence to show that they defected? And that a lawyer actually took fees to file a matter in a court that large jurisdiction.
A lawyer will collect fees.
I was coming there, but I want to ask Barrister Feli. Barrister Feli, you are a barrister. Now, looking at the political function now that is going on in Rivers State, this battle, who do you think is doing the right thing? Or let me put it this way, Phantomine, how well are they using the law to their own advantage?
When they went to file that matter at the High Court, they filed that matter to exercise fundamental rights, which the High Court of the state have jurisdiction in the context of fundamental rights. But then the fact of the case now exposed them, because the fact of the case has to do with whether the seat has been declared vacant or not. You understand? You actually have the right to bring a fundamental rights enforcement case at the High Court. You are allowed to do that. But the fact of the case now betrays that line of thought. And because it now is now hugely on the fact that declaration of seats vacant and all that is involved, that throws them off balance. That the state does not have jurisdiction. I did a case like that. Somebody went to court to throw my client, to evict my client. You understand? So my client contention is that you are not the landlord. You didn't put me in possession. Okay? A church put me in possession. Okay? And that church is the headquarters put my client in possession. Then the local branch went to court to evict him. So our argument was that you don't own this place. You went to the magistrate court, you don't own this place, so you can't throw my client out. They now went, you know what they did? They now went to go and bring a deed of assignment to show that incorporation document, deed of assignment, and receipt of purchase of that land.
Okay.
To prove to us and the court that they own the place.
Okay, as a subset.
Yes. We were saying they don't have local standard to throw my client out because it's a branch of a church that put my client in possession.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the headquarters of the church put my client in possession. The branch want to evict him. So we now say, no, the headquarters is the landlord and not you. Okay? You are just a subsection of the head. So you don't have. So in order to prove to the court and us that they own the place and they want to bring deed of assignment, incorporation document, land purchase receipt and all that, the moment they filed that and served me, I was very happy. Because to them now they want to show the court. But to me, we are joining issues on ownership of land. And the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction on ownership. So I brought a motion. I brought a preliminary objection. I filed a preliminary objection and I told the court that now we have joined issues on ownership of land and it's the High Court that have jurisdiction. And the court struck it out and asked us to go to the High Court. Since we are talking about who owns land, the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction, everybody knows that. So we went to the High Court. We're at the High Court now.
And yet a lawyer took fees to bring those documents to court.
Yeah. Well, yes. So let's get into. Yeah. So let's.
In a sense, you see, Well, they are the reason, you know what I mean? They are the reason politicians have all kinds of confidence.
Exactly.
That they can get something out of nothing.
Exactly.
Even
No.
What money cannot do, more money can do.
Not exactly that. The public don't know the workings of the court. If the public have an inkling of what happens in the court, the public will believe more in the court than they do.
Well,
they don't.
But with these current happenings, and let's say a lot of Nigerians have
That case that went to the State High Court in Rivers, they have a right to file fundamental right at the State High Court. Do you understand? You can, okay, this person that went to the Magistrate Court to visit my client, don't they have local standard to go there? They have now, but as we progress the case, the dynamics change. And I'm not to the court now that we have done issues on ownership. This court do no longer have jurisdiction, and the court hands off. You understand? So will you say that lawyer that went to the Magistrate Court don't know the law? Or they collected fees? Why will not collect fees to file the case, thinking this court the case has now developed.
There's the waters. Yeah.
The case has now developed.
I think it is becoming very interesting, and the legal case in River State needs study. By those who want to study law, because it's the dynamics.
It's not a good time to be a law student.
It's changing.
No, because see, all these cases coming out from the court. We discuss this in the law school. Students, the lecturers will take them on. All the expert emotion, everything, all the outcomes. They'll put it forth before classroom, and you will see legal fireworks. Okay, students, lecturers, even the moot court, they'll bring it to the moot court, and you begin to stimulate. You understand? It's not a good time because the curriculum is now as River State have expanded the curriculum of law.
Very true.
You understand? To a point where we've not even seen the end.
Very, very true.
Right.
Yes.
As we are talking this now, the local outgoing local government chairmen are drumming war, and they are caught.
Very true.
Imagine, yeah.
Very true.
And then again, it would seem to me that the parties to the dispute in River State are perhaps not exactly looking at a legal solution per se. I think that somehow some persons are just hoping that chance will work in their favor, or hoping that somehow they'll reach détente besides the legal process. Otherwise, the way the whole thing has just rigmaroled, it doesn't look to me that they are putting in as much effort into the legal side of of the whole issue to say that we're looking for. I think that they're looking for the easiest way out. Maybe one party at some point will when the governor said that all those people fighting him, that they are merely faction. Like even before he had become governor, he used to pay their children's school fees. He used to, that. So somehow there is some sort of, will it go this way? Will it not go that way? Can I buy some of them over to my side? Will they play ball? I think that's really where they are trying to have this whole issue sorted. Perhaps in the next coming weeks, but again, I think that those lawmakers are also looking at a colossus like Wike breathing over their shoulders, and they are afraid to perhaps at some point say, okay, let's take a walk and join Fubara on their own. They cannot make that choice all by themselves. So there's also that fear. Otherwise, I didn't see this whole matter dragging this far. The whole thing, it doesn't look to me that they are looking for a legal solution to it. And I think that somehow they're looking for a way that maybe somebody can buy some of those lawmakers over to it. But again, if that also happened, then what then became of the, because that defection must be addressed. What happens if it can become a very bad precedent for the country? Because if you defect, you lose your seat. It's basic.
That's what the law says.
It's basic. Now, how come Okojo, instead of saying that those who defected have lost their seats, as a year did earlier, rather he went to court to restrain them. What is restraining them about?
But my question is this:
why he went to court? Sorry, why he went to court is because if you look at the Constitution, the role that the speaker have to play in the assignment, they are stuck.
They are.
The speaker ought to play a role, but unfortunately, the speaker is part of those who defected. So what you want him to do is to go to court to say that, because the condition precedent is not complete. You understand? Or what he needed to do was for him to now make that move. But then somebody has gone to court to restrain INEC. And for the matter to be in court pending, he cannot do that. He cannot move the hand.
Now, I was hoping that as new speaker, he could have made a pronouncement like he was saying.
I know the moment he came in, right, that was the next thing he was to do now.
Yeah.
Then somebody has gone to court already to make sure that INEC does not move. And once the matter is filed, he can't go on with that because INEC, when INEC come on the case against INEC.
So he now has to resort to the court.
Yes.
Well, I do not know where this would end. You know, of course, there's little talk here and there. You know, that they should take it to the Supreme Court if it's possible. But I do not know how that would end up. But let's just keep watching the story as it develops. Of course. Well, that's just about the time we have for this segment. We'd love to say thank you to Pastor Van Sofeli. Thank you so very much for your clarity and making sense of our discussion. Cyril Abaku, thank you as always for being part of our show. Choma.
Yes,
thank you.
Very good. Thank you to you.
All right. Most importantly, you made the day for us, and we are entirely grateful to you. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment respectfully, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igubike.
And I'm Choma Okohia.
On behalf of the entire team, we say thank you for watching, and bye-bye from us.
Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.